year in September than all of 2019 combined. There's a 28% increase of fatalities among police officers killed in the line of duty, dying in the line of duty. It is dangerous. It is unnecessarily dangerous. So law enforcement and law and order is on the ballot. I wouldn't take a cent from these people. And the new one today is Planned Parenthood is making the case why we should defund the police. So the bottom line is, I want to say thank you to the Florence County Sheriff's Department, to everybody in law enforcement, to our wildlife officers, all those who wear the badge to protect us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the spouses, thank you. I've been in the military until I retired for 33 years. I was in the National Guard when our unit got called up in Desert Shield and Desert Storm. When the pilots left, along with the maintenance crews, my job was to take care of the families as their lawyer. Every day we'd get a phone call about who returned and whether or not they all made it. That was a gut-wrenching day every day. So to the spouses of law enforcement, we honor you, and here's my commitment to you, to make sure that your loved ones have the equipment they need, the training they deserve, and that when somebody does them harm, we come down like a ton of bricks on them. Thank you very much. Questions?
Senator, can I ask you about the speech Joe Biden gave yesterday as he was responding to a lot of this over the last few weeks and the message from the convention last week? He asked a question, he meant it rhetorically, but I want to ask you it literally because you have known Joe Biden for many years, you called him a good guy. He said, do I really look to you like a radical socialist with a soft spot for rioters? What would your answer be to that question?
Well, I would say this to Joe Biden: you need to reject MoveOn.org. You need to tell them, I don't want any money from you. You need to stand up to the people who are in control of your party. You need to speak out at your convention about riots in the street and the destruction of property. You had your chance. You had a whole week to tell us what you thought about law enforcement. And the reason you're out now is because the tide has turned. Yeah, I like Joe Biden fine, but the agenda coming out of Joe Biden's party is devastating for public safety.
And he can't speak.
We had a whole week, and we talked about this endlessly. We had victims of violent crime. We had family members of slain police officers. So if you want to know what the two parties think about policing, you got their conventions to look at. This is important to me. It's important to the president. And giving a speech now, after the tide has turned, is not persuasive. As to my opponent, you've taken money from Planned Parenthood. You've taken money from MoveOn.org. Don't tell me that the people who want to defund the police do not see an ally in you. Why are they giving you this money? Because they know you'll be lockstep with a Democratic Senate that is hell-bent on changing the structure of society. This is just not about the cops. If they get in charge of everything, they're going to increase the number of Supreme Court justices to dilute a right-of-center majority. They're going to make Puerto Rico and D.C. a state, which gives us less influence. I cannot tell you how important this election is. With me, you're going to get somebody who will work with Democrats when it makes sense. I've worked on immigration to my own detriment, but I will not support giving illegal immigrants free health care and decriminalizing coming across the border because we'll be overrun. I voted for Sotomayor and Kagan because I thought they were qualified. They tried to destroy Kavanaugh's life. A good man, and I stood up for him because he deserved it. I will stand up for you. I will have your families back because we owe it to you. Thank you very much.
The president, could I tell you one more thing? The president is going to go to Wisconsin today against the wishes of the governor of Wisconsin, against the mayor of Wisconsin, who say it's only going to ratchet up temperature. Another thing that Biden said yesterday was the job of the president in a moment like this, in a moment of civil unrest, is to lower the temperature, not to stoke more anger. Do you think that this president has done?
I think this president has offered help to any and all cities that are in flames. I think there were 45 people shot in Chicago over the weekend. 10 dead, 2 police officers wounded. I think things are out of control, and the president is offering assistance. I think it's good that he goes to Wisconsin. As to taking arms up and going out into the streets, I don't agree with that. We do not want citizens to take up arms, go out into the street, and try to take over the job of the police. But for that not to happen, the police have to have the support they need, or vacuums will be filled. Lethal force used by a police officer should be examined, because that is a major event to use lethal force. But I would say this, all of us have a duty to obey law enforcement when they ask of us legal things. If you have a warrant outstanding, then you have to submit to the warrant. There's a rule of law. You can contest it, you just can't take matters into your own hands. You shouldn't go out in the street with an AR-15. I believe in the rule of law, and I've been a judge, a prosecutor, and a defense attorney. And every now and then you'll run across someone who doesn't wear the badge well. And there are problems out there where black men are stopped disproportionate to everybody else in the country. I want to work on that. I want to reform the police, not demean them.
What can you say for local law enforcement, like those guys behind you, who do so much to keep us safe during these times, and so many people seem to be bashing?
Bessa, like, what can I say to the voters? If you vote for me, I've got their back. I'm not taking money from people who wanted to fund the police and give it to other groups. I'm not going to be part of a group of people who won't even mention the fact that there's lawlessness in the streets. So if you, as a voter, as a citizen, want to make sure the cops know they're appreciated, elect people who will show that appreciation. Why are they endorsing me? Because I've been there when they need me. I've been there for bulletproof vests. I've been there for law enforcement grants to supplement local budgets. I've been there every time they needed me in the Senate. That's why they're with me. And how do I pay them back? Just stand up when it counts. And I don't mind pushing reform. With Tim Scott, I have. But the one thing I want you to know, and these people behind me to know, is that people in South Carolina are tired of this. We've had enough. We want to get our country back. Peaceful protest, yes. Burning down the cities, no. Declaring war on the cops is declaring war on your security as a family, as a business. For 90-something days, how can you operate in Portland? This is not coming here. If you want to protest, you can do it. It's as American as apple pie. But I'm not going to tolerate sitting on the sidelines and being quiet. Thank you all. Gotta go. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Back to work, guys. Back to work.
Everyone, we're out of here.
All right. Thank you all for coming.
Great job. See you.
Like this all.
I know Mike Long's gonna be upset because he came to town, he wasn't here.
Well, I'm doing a blood drive this afternoon in my office.
Unrelated issues.